What is up, guys? So the Arrowverse is one of, if not the largest universe on TV right now, and it is certainly the largest superhero universe on TV right now, and one of the largest superhero universes in media in general. And with the fact that it's a superhero universe comes a lot of superheroes. So in this video, I'm going to go over every single superhero who has appeared in the Arrowverse. I also will include anti-heroes, maybe like characters who maybe were villains originally, but then became anti-heroes, became heroes on these shows, as well as characters who are heroes in the comics, and maybe not heroes on these shows. I will still include those characters as well. I won't include characters who have only been referenced to, like Batman or Green Lantern, just because they have not appeared yet, so I'm not going to include them. Although Batman, Bruce Wayne, does 100% exist in this universe, I'm still not going to include him in this video. I'm going to go over every single season of the Arrowverse, say all the superheroes that were introduced, the episode they were introduced, and the episode that they became superheroes, but only if there's like a specific episode where they became those superheroes. So without further ado, let's start this video with Arrow Season 1. The first character, the first superhero in this video is Green Arrow, aka Oliver Queen, as well as the Hood and the Arrow. Oliver Queen debuted in Arrow Season 1, Episode 1, and he became the Hood in that same episode. He became the Arrow in Season 2, Episode 1, and then became the Green Arrow in Season 4, Episode 1. Oliver Queen, or Green Arrow, is the namesake of this universe. It is called the Arrowverse. His name is Green Arrow, or maybe his show is the namesake of the universe. Either way, he is the head and the face of the universe, and he's the first character in this video. The second character is another character who debuted in Arrow Season 1, Episode 1, and that is White Canary, aka The Canary, aka Sarah Lance. Or originally, in that episode, she was just Sarah Lance, and she was actually played by a different actress, but then she was recast for Season 2, and became the Canary in Season 2, Episode 2, and then became the White Canary in The Legends of Tomorrow, Season 1, Episode 1. The third character is DINAH Laurel Lance, aka Black Canary. She also debuted in Arrow Season 1, Episode 1, and became the Black Canary 2 seasons later in Season 3, Episode 10. But don't worry, those two are not the last canaries in this video. The next character is Thea Queen, aka Speedy, who debuted in Arrow Season 1, Episode 1, and actually got her name Speedy in Arrow Season 1, Episode 1 as a nickname, but then adopted that as her superhero name in Arrow Season 4, Episode 1. The next character is John Diggle, aka Spartan, who debuted in Arrow Season 1, Episode 1 as well, and he's the final character to debut in that episode, and he became Spartan in Season 4, Episode 1 as well. The next character is the first character in this video who is definitely not a superhero, but is an anti-hero. Originally, he was a villain, and that is DEADSHOT, aka FLOYD LAWTON, who debuted in Arrow Season 1, Episode 3, but became a hero, and when he became a hero when he joined the Suicide Squad, but he really became a hero when he sacrificed his life for John Diggle and the rest of the Suicide Squad in Season 3, Episode 17. I will not include any other character from the Suicide Squad because I think Deadshot's the only character who really did something heroic when he sacrificed himself. The other guys are just there because if they don't, they're just dead. So I will not include the rest of the Suicide Squad in this video. So the next character is a character who I don't really think is much of a hero, but I would say he's a villain who cares about his daughter, so I'm not actually going to count him on this list, but that is MERLYN, who debuted in Season 1, Episode 3. I'm not going to count him on this list. I'm not going to count him at all. I just think he's a villain who cares about his daughter. That's why he sacrificed his life for her, but I don't think he would do that for anybody else. The next character is a character who is definitely more of an anti-hero than a hero, and I would say she's even maybe a villain on the show, but she had some vigilante traits to her, and in the comics she is definitely a superhero, so I will include her on this video, and that is HELENA BERTINELLI, aka the Huntress, who debuted in Arrow Season 1, Episode 8. The next character is a character who is definitely also not a superhero, but is an anti-hero, and originally he wasn't either, but then he became a villain, and then he became an anti-hero after that, and that is Slade Wilson, aka DEATHSROKE, who debuted in a flashback in Arrow Season 1, Episode 13, and became an anti-hero way later in Season 5, Episode 23, when he helped Oliver Queen defeat Prometheus, or he attempted to help Oliver Queen defeat Prometheus. And the final superhero to debut in Arrow Season 1, and that is Roy Harper, aka Arsenal, who debuted in Arrow Season 1, Episode 15, and became a superhero near the end of Season 2, but didn't get his name Arsenal until Season 3, Episode 6. So that is every superhero to debut in Arrow Season 1. Moving on to Arrow Season 2, there are 3 characters to debut in Arrow Season 2, and all 3 of those characters are not Arrow characters. They are 100% Flash characters. The first character is the second head or face of the Arrowverse, and that is Barry Allen, aka The Flash, who debuted in Arrow Season 2, Episode 8, and became The Flash throughout the first season of The Flash. There's really no specific episode. If you had to say one episode, it would definitely be the first episode, but I would say he became the Flash throughout the first season. The second character is Cisco Ramon, aka Vibe, who debuted in Arrow Season 2, Episode 19, along with Caitlin Snow, aka Killer Frost, who debuted in that same episode. Cisco Ramon became Vibe throughout The Flash Season 2, and Caitlin Snow became Killer Frost in The Flash Season 3, but then became a superhero in The Flash Season 4, no real specific episodes. So that is the second year of the Arrowverse, that is Season 2 of Arrow. Moving on to the year 3 of the Arrowverse, starting with Arrow Season 3. The first character from the Arrow Season 3, and really the character who's the most prominent in the Arrowverse so far right now, out of all the 3 characters who debuted in Arrow Season 3, or the 3 superheroes rather, is Ray Palmer, aka The Atom, who debuted in the first episode of Season 3, and became The Atom in no specific episode, just throughout the 3rd and 4th season of Arrow. The next character is TATSU Yamashiro, aka Katana, who also debuted in Arrow Season 3, Episode 1 in a flashback, and I don't know when she became Katana, like precisely. She was actually never called Katana on the show, so you can say that she's not actually, actually became Katana, and she was always Tatsu Yamashiro, but she is Katana in the comics, so I'll just call her Katana here. The third and final character from this season is Ted Grant, aka WILDCAT, who debuted in Arrow Season 3, Episode 3, and he vanished off the plane of existence in, I think, Episode 12, and he never appeared after that. He did not die. It looked like he died, but it was confirmed that he did not die, but maybe he'll return in the future. I don't know. I think we can all agree this character was not handled well at all, but that is every character from Arrow Season 3. And then the next season is The Flash Season 1, starting with Ronnie Raymond, aka Firestorm, along with Martin Stein, who debuted in The Flash Season 1, Episode 8, but then really became Firestorm, or at least embraced Firestorm in The Flash Season 1, Episode 14, and Ronnie Raymond later died and was replaced by a character I will definitely mention later in Year 4 of the Arrowverse. The next character is Leonard SNART, aka Captain Cold, who was originally a villain but then became a hero on Legends of Tomorrow, who debuted in The Flash Season 1, Episode 4, and became a hero in Legends of Tomorrow Season 1, and really became a superhero throughout the season. The next hero is Captain Cold's partner in crime, which doesn't feel right because I just called him a hero, and that is Mick Rory, aka Heatwave, who debuted in The Flash Season 1, Episode 10, and just like Captain Cold, became a hero throughout Legends of Tomorrow Season 1. It definitely took more time to become a hero than Captain Cold did. The next character is Kendra Saunders, aka HAWKGIRL, who is not a very good character, but she debuted in The Flash Season 1, Episode 23, and became a hero, or at least became HAWKGIRl, in the Heroes Joined Forces crossover in The Flash Season 2 and Arrow Season 4. So that is it for The Flash Season 1. Moving on to Constantine Season 1, which is set to take place in the same year as The Flash Season 1 and Arrow Season 3. And the characters that debuted in this season are John Constantine, who is the namesake of the season or the show, who debuted in the first episode of Constantine Season 1, and the Spectre, aka Jim Corrigan, who debuted in Constantine Season 1, Episode 5. So that is it for Constantine. Moving on to Vixen, who debuted one single superhero in both of its seasons, and that is the namesake of the show, Vixen, aka Mari McCabe, and that is definitely not the last Vixen on this video. There is one more. So moving on to Year 4 of the Arrowverse, starting with Arrow Season 4. So Arrow Season 4 debuted Curtis Holt, who in the comics is named Michael Holt, aka Mr. Terrific, who debuted in Arrow Season 4, Episode 2, and became Mr. Terrific when, or at least he became public as Mr. Terrific in Season 5, Episode 4. Then Evelyn Sharp, aka Artemis, who, spoiler alert, did become a villain in Season 5, and was originally a villain in Season 4, but for a brief number of episodes, I would say maybe 9 episodes in Season 5, she was a hero. She debuted in Arrow Season 4, Episode 19, and became a hero in Season 5, Episode 4, and that is the extent of the characters, or the superheroes, to debut in Arrow Season 4. Moving on to The Flash Season 2. The first character debuted in The Flash Season 2, Episode 2, and this is a character who is not at all a superhero on the show, not even an anti-hero, a full-fledged villain, but he is on this list because, or in this video rather, is because he's a superhero in the comics, and it's weird that he wasn't a superhero in the show as well, and that is Al Rothstein, aka Atom Smasher. He is a villain, but he's a hero in the comics. The next character is a character who I did mention or indirectly mention before, and that is Jefferson Jackson, who debuted in The Flash Season 2, Episode 4, who replaced Ronnie Raymond as Firestorm and joined the Legends later soon after. And the next character is Jesse Wells, aka Jesse Quick, who debuted in The Flash Season 2, Episode 5, and became Jesse Quick in Season 3, Episode 3. The next character is Carter Hall, aka Hawkman, who debuted a whole year after HAWKGIRL, because HAWKGIRL debuted in the season finale of Season 1, but or maybe not a whole year, maybe like half a year, but he debuted in The Flash, Season 2, Episode 8, in the crossover. The next character is Wally West, aka Kid Flash, who debuted in The Flash, Season 2, Episode 9, and became Kid Flash throughout the 3rd season of The Flash. And the last character from Season 2 of The Flash is Jay Garrick, aka The Flash, who debuted in The Flash, Season 2, Episode 23, or at least was unmasked in that episode. He was around throughout the 2nd season, but he was wearing a mask. Next up is the 1st season of Supergirl, which introduced quite a good amount of superheroes, starting with the namesake of the show, which is Supergirl, aka Kara Zor-El, aka Kara Danvers, who debuted in Season 1, Episode 1, and became Supergirl in that same episode. The next character is Superman, aka Kal-El, aka Clark Kent, who debuted in that same episode, Season 1, Episode 1 of Supergirl, but actually we didn't see his face, and he wasn't casted until Season 2, Episode 1 of Supergirl, but we did see him, and his face was either blurred or just, it was cropped out of the screen, so we weren't able to see his face, but he did debut in that episode and became Superman in a episode previous to Supergirl, or not an episode, rather, just he became Superman way previous to Supergirl, Season 1. The next character is Guardian, aka James Olsen, who debuted in Supergirl Season 1, Episode 1 as well, and became Guardian, which doesn't really make sense to me, but it became Guardian in Season 2, Episode 6. So, of Supergirl, that is. The next character is Martian Manhunter, aka John Jones, who debuted in Supergirl Season 1, Episode 1, and there wasn't really a specific episode where he became Martian Manhunter. He was like that the entire time. The next character is a villain on the show, just like Atom Smasher, but a complete hero in the comics, and I have no idea why they made him a villain here. And that is Red Tornado, who debuted in Season 1, Episode 6 of Supergirl, and actually another version of Red Tornado debuted in Crisis on Earth X in the crossover, and he was a much better looking and much better in general version of that character. The next character is James Harper, who is not a hero on the show. James Harper is actually Guardian in the comics. I don't know why they made James Olsen Guardian and not James Harper. I mean, I guess they have the same first name, but James Harper is a character in the comics who is Guardian on the show. He was more of an antagonist, not really a villain, but he was more of an antagonist, and he debuted in Supergirl Season 1, Episode 17. The next character is another character who was also more of an antagonist on the show, but she is a superhero in the comics. She was even a part of the Justice League at one point in the 90s, and that character is Maxima, who debuted in Supergirl Season 1, Episode 19. So that is every character to debut in Supergirl Season 1. Moving on to Legends of Tomorrow Season 1, starting with Rip Hunter, who debuted in Legends of Tomorrow Season 1, Episode 1. Then you move on to Green Arrow, aka Connor Hawke, who debuted in Legends of Tomorrow Season 1, Episode 6. And then you have Jonah Hex, who debuted in Legends of Tomorrow Season 1, Episode 11. And you have Our Man, aka Rex Tyler, who debuted in Legends of Tomorrow Season 1, Episode 16. And he paved the way for the JSA, who I will go over in the end of Year 5 of the Arrowverse. The next year is Year 5 of the Arrowverse, starting with Arrow Season 5, which debuted Wild Dog, aka Rene Ramirez, in the first episode. Then you have Ragman, aka Rory Regan, in the second episode, although he was quickly disposed of, I think, in the 12th episode of Season 5. Then you have Human Target, aka Christopher Chance, who debuted in Arrow Season 5, Episode 5. He's not really a superhero, he's more like a guy who's doing his job, but he has only helped Team Arrow on, occasion. He's helped them, so he's on the side of Team Arrow, so I will include him in this video. Then you have Vigilante, aka Vincent Sobel, who debuted in Season 5, Episode 7, although he was a villain until Season 6, Episode 10, when he became more of a hero, although, spoiler alert, he did die in, I think, either that episode or in the episode right after that. Then you have Dinah Drake, aka Black Canary. Like I said, Laurel Lance and Sarah Lance were not going to be the last Canaries on this video, but then Black Canary debuted, or Dinah Drake debuted in Season 5, Episode 10, and that is every superhero to debut in Arrow Season 5. Moving on to The Flash, Season 3. So, starting off Season 3 of The Flash with Gypsy, aka Cynthia, although in the comics her name is Cynthia Reynolds, so I'm just going to guess her name is Cynthia Reynolds here as well. She debuted in The Flash, Season 3, Episode 10. Then you have Solivar, who was originally a villain, but then he helped Team Flash defeat Grodd, and in the comics and in the show as well, he is Grodd's mortal enemy, so I will include him here as well. He debuted in The Flash, Season 3, Episode 13. Then you have the Accelerator Man, who debuted in the next episode in Season 3, Episode 14 of The Flash, and this is a character that has not been used, in the slightest. So moving on to Supergirl Season 2, you start off the season with Mon-El, aka Valor, who technically debuted in the last episode of Supergirl, but we didn't actually see him. It was like a cliffhanger. We saw him for the first time in Season 2, Episode 1, and he became Valor in Season 3, Episode 7, or that's when Supergirl learned he was Valor. He became Valor like in between Season 2 and 3, like 1,000 years in the future. Then you have Megan Morse, aka Miss Martian, who debuted in Supergirl Season 2, Episode 3. Closing off year 5 of the Arrowverse is Legends of Tomorrow Season 2, starting with Nate Haywood, aka Steel, who debuted in Legends of Tomorrow Season 2, Episode 1. Then you have his grandfather, Henry Haywood, aka Commander Steel, which is a crazy coincidence, who debuted in Legends of Tomorrow Season 2, Episode 1. By the way, going back to Steel for a second, his name is actually in the comic Citizen Steel. Steel is a different character. I do not know why they named him Steel on the show, but I would just call him Citizen Steel from now on. I don't know why I called him Steel here. But then you have Charles McNider, who in the show is just called Charles, but that's his name in the comics, so I'm guessing that's what his name is here, and he is Dr. Midnight, who debuted in Legends of Tomorrow Season 2, Episode 1, along with the rest of the JSA, like Commander Steel, along with Stargirl, aka Courtney Whitmore, who debuted in that episode, Todd Rice, aka Obsidian, who debuted in that episode, and Vixen, aka Maya Jiwe, who debuted in that episode as well. So starting off year 6 of the Arrowverse is actually The Flash Season 4 and not Arrow Season 6, because Arrow Season 6 debuted 0 total superheroes. So The Flash Season 4 first debuted Breacher, aka Josh, probably Reynolds, just because Cynthia's last name in the comics is Reynolds, and her name on the show is Cynthia, so I'm going to guess her name is Cynthia Reynolds, and his name, since he's her father, is Josh Reynolds. He doesn't actually have a name in the comics, so I'm just going to guess Josh Reynolds. So he debuted in The Flash Season 4, Episode 4, along with Elongated Man, aka Ralph Dibny, who debuted in that same episode. Then you have Ray Terrell, aka The Ray, who debuted in Crisis on Earth X in The Flash Season 4, Episode 8, along with Citizen Cold, aka Leo Snart, who debuted in that same episode, along with a character who I already mentioned, Red Tornado X, who some people say would be a villain, but I would say he's a hero just because his main goal in that episode was to kill Nazis, and it would also destroy the Flash and the rest of Earth 1 crew's way home. So that's why they had to stop him, but he was trying to kill Nazis and he was a member of the Freedom Fighters, so I would say he's a hero. Moving on to Supergirl Season 3, and really the only characters that debuted in Supergirl Season 3 are members of the Legion of Superheroes, and one of those characters is not a member of the Legion of Superheroes here, but is a member of the Legion of Superheroes in the comics, starting with Imra Ardeen, aka Saturn Girl, who is not that character, but is a member of the Legion of Superheroes in the show and in the comics, and debuted in Supergirl Season 3, Episode 7. The next character is Nora Allen, aka XS, who debuted in Supergirl Season 3, Episode 8. She's not a member of the Legion of Superheroes here, but in the comics, XS, not Nora Allen, but XS, aka Jenny Ognatz, is a member of the Legion of Superheroes, so I think it's a crazy coincidence that all three characters who debuted in Supergirl Season 3 are actually members of the Legion of Superheroes, at least in the comics. Then you have Quirrell Dox, aka Brainiac 5, who debuted in Supergirl Season 3, Episode 10. Then you have Legends of Tomorrow Season 3, which first debuted B'wana Beast in the second episode in a pretty terrible fashion, as he was just a speechless goon, where in the comics he is a superhero, a pretty ridiculous superhero, but at least he is something, where in the show he's just a speechless goon back in like the 1880s or 1890s or something, so that was pretty terrible. But then you have Zari Tomaz, aka, well, nothing. Well, in the comics, she is aka Isis, but I 100% understand why they didn't use that name on the show. But then she debuted in Legends of Tomorrow Season 3, Episode 3, so this season did consist also of Freedom Fighters The Ray Season 1, or this year rather. This is more of a question, because if you watch it, you can tell it literally makes no sense. It doesn't add up with the rest of the Arrowverse, but I would say, I guess it's canon, I guess. It just doesn't make any sense. But this season debuted, first of all, Dollman, aka Daryl Dane. That's not what his name on the show is, just Daryl, but that's his name in the comics, so I'm just going to call him that. And he debuted in the first season of Freedom Fighters The Ray, along with Phantom Lady, aka Jenny Knight, and John Trujillo, I don't really know how to pronounce that, aka Black Condor, along with Cisco Ramon, aka Vibe of Earth X. I'm not going to be including Year 7 in this video just because not all the characters that have been confirmed have been confirmed. There are certain characters who people think will show up, like Blue Beetle, but have not been confirmed. Some other characters like Batwoman are confirmed, so I'm not going to actually go over Year 7 in this video because it just hasn't come out yet. I might make an updated version of this video once Year 7 comes out, or once Year 7 is over. So that is it. It took me 20 minutes, but I went over every single superhero who has appeared in the Arrowverse. Let me know if I missed any in the comments down below, and of every single one of these superheroes, which one is your favorite and which one is your least favorite. Let me know in the comments down below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you like this video, and thanks for watching.